Dating trends have changed within the last decade or so thanks to the introduction of dating sites. Now, free dating apps are available and more popular among millennials. But still, there are some who prefer to meet others through real-life connections. I met up with two couples who met two different ways to find out what works for them. Tom and Raquel met in Peoria more than a decade ago through a mutual acquaintance who thought they might be a good match.
She was the most beautiful person I've ever seen.
My first impression, no, very good because he looked serious.
But there was one hurdle. The two didn't speak the same language. Still, they developed a friendship and went on their first date a year later.
We sat there at the pizza place just trying to communicate with each other, but it was kind of hard, but for some reason it lasted 3 hours.
According to the Pew Research Center, 4 in 10 U.S. interracial marriages are between a Hispanic and a white partner.
But I think that shows that sometimes there's sort of that unspoken chemistry that science really can't figure out yet that can draw people together.
The McFalls have been married for almost 15 years now and have stayed true to their vows.
We've been through sickness, good and bad times. He's been very sick in a coma in the hospital. I've been very sick in a coma in the hospital as well, and together we have been through all of that.
But in recent years, singles have embraced a new way of meeting people that involves matching or swiping left and right. The Pew Research Center data shows online dating has lost its stigma, and almost 60% of Americans believe online dating is a good way to meet others.
The biggest changes in acceptance and use in that come from the younger generation, of course, the 18 to 24-year-olds, and also surprisingly a little bit of older generation. So people in their 50s and 60s are actually using online dating a lot more than they were maybe 10 or so years ago.
Amy Miller-Ott is a communications professor at ISU. She's found that the two most commonly used dating sites in Central Illinois are Tinder and Farmers Only.
One of the biggest pros of meeting online too is the fact that you can kind of target and figure out what people's interests are quickly. Sometimes that means that we're not having conversations like we used to, but if you are looking specifically for a common interest or a personality characteristic that you wish someone had, you kind of filter that out through online dating apps.
Heather and Dakota met after swiping right on each other on Tinder.
He messaged me and we talked for a little bit and then agreed to meet up and go on a date.
Despite mixed signals,
he asked to put his arm around me and he was a gentleman and just really kind, and I knew then that I liked him a lot.
So the first few times I just thought that she really didn't like me, but she kept responding to my texts.
They have now been in a committed relationship for 3 years. While the options for meeting that special someone are unlimited, Miller-Ott insists a majority of people still meet the old-fashioned way.
Even with as much opportunity for meeting people online, percentage-wise, we still tend to meet people in person. So I think there's about a 20% of people who meet online.
While meeting someone in person allows you to develop a friendship first, online dating does give you the option to find people with specific qualities and can lead to a serious relationship. In the end, it's up to the individual to find out what suits them better. Back to you.